welcome at the fifth Permanent Working Review Conference on support provided to Ukraine. We are in the Prime Minister's office, and the official opening speech will be given by Professor Jan Malicki. Professor, hand over to you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of our minister, I have the honor and the pleasure to officially open our fifth edition of our Warsaw Conference, the Permanent Working Review Conference on Support to Ukraine. The first edition was held 1 year ago. The first session took place more than 1 year ago. The first session of this review conference was held on the 5th February 2023. I made a mistake, and this is because we live in a hectic moment when a lot of things have been happening at a fast pace. And so after the first session, subsequent sessions were organized every 2 or 3 months, and every time we had some selected leading themes with some presentations, some panels. Today, we decided to split the agenda into 2 parts. The first part is still about our key topic, the support provided to Ukraine. And this will be the first part of our day. We will have Minister Emilewicz and the presentation by the Center of Strategic Studies at the Warsaw Enterprise Institute. Some developments have taken place over the recent months. Today, we have to deal with the Russian aggression against Ukraine and the war in Ukraine. Plus, we need to address the war in the Middle East. And with those developments, we need to discuss some major questions among specialists and experts in foreign policy. And actually, some people may wonder why we have added the topic of the Middle East into the agenda of the review conference on Ukraine. Well, that was my decision, and I believe that this is a topic that cannot be avoided. Whatever the analysis, whatever the perspective, the developments in the Middle East will shape the future of Ukraine as well. That is why the decision was made to add this topic to the agenda. Please feel invited to join us, listen to us. That's the 5th edition, as I've just said. As the father of this conference, I'd rather this conference did not have to take place. But actually, we're talking about the war, and this is a conference on the war. And actually, I must say that I would be glad to complete this cycle. Still, we have the 5th edition, and we may still predict that the war will last for some time. Let me thank all the participants. Let me thank all the speakers, excellent speakers at our event, ministers, ambassador of Ukraine and other ambassadors present in the room. officially and not officially, and other participants and panelists of our debate. Let's hope that the debate will provide some answers to questions we have tentatively raised. The questions on this axis between Russia, Ukraine, and the Middle East. Thank you very much, Professor. And now let me give the floor to Wojciech Gerwel, the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Szanowna Pani Minister.
Ladies and gentlemen, ministers, ambassadors, dear guests, Professor, soon we will, the 2 years will have passed since the full-scale Russian aggression against Ukraine. Ukrainians have shown bravery and heroism in the defense of their freedom, and they do hope that they will prevail. And there should be no other solution. Russia should be defeated and held accountable for its crimes. The sanctions, international isolation, and military and humanitarian support for Ukraine will need to be upheld. There should be no country that terrorizes another country or forces another country to fight in an armed conflict, to stand in defense of its freedom, prosperity, and development. There is no doubt that Ukraine is an independent country, and Ukrainians have made a proof of that. A major effort in fighting and in rebuilding the countries. The effort has been recently appreciated by the European Commission. In its most recent report, the European Commission has made a summary of all the steps taken by Ukraine on its pathway to the European Union. And the assessment was extremely positive. A decision was made then, will then be made, let's hope by the end of the year, to open the accession negotiations. And the accession of the Ukraine to the EU should be the cornerstone of the stability for Ukraine and for the whole Central and Eastern European region. The message and the posture of President Zelensky have been have made a major contribution to this stability. For us, what counts is also energy stability. Together with Denmark, we cooperate in order to ensure an effective and result-oriented cooperation. We have made a working group and we have made some advances in this peace process. And fortunately, the conflict in the Middle East, we have to step up our efforts in this region as well, but we do not lose sight of Ukraine. It's still on our radar, and we call Hamas and Hezbollah not to distract the world's attention from Ukraine. We stand ready to work and to cooperate on both directions, and we do believe that international and human standards will be upheld because human life has the same value everywhere. The international community, including Poland, has done its best in order to prevent any regional shock waves in the Middle East, because otherwise we'll feel consequences around the world, including in our region. That is why we fully support the EU reflection on the situation in the Middle East. And we do hope that some major directions of action will be defined soon. The EU should have some ready-made proposals for G7 countries and for other partners. If the initiative is taken by other entities, Russians or its less or more declared allies, may be really harmful to finding a permanent solution ensuring the equal rights for Palestine and for Israel. I do not want to take too much of your time. That is why let me thank all the organizers, you, Professor, for your efforts. And I look forward to this extremely interesting discussion on the Middle East and Ukraine. I've been involved in